Hello, Squirrel Tribe. Listen, this election has me tired. This country has me tired. Like, it is exhausting watching the complete shit show that is the United States right now because of the people we have in charge and the person who's trying to get in charge, both of the Democrat Party, in case you're curious. It's been a lot. What's very interesting to me is how there's a lot of things that are interesting to me, but number one being there has not been a full cabinet meeting in almost a year with Joe Biden. And today, out of nowhere, he said, you know what? I think I'm going to put down the ice cream and leave the beach house and let's have a full cabinet meeting. So Joe Biden did. This is from Steve Cortez, right? You guys see this? A visibly exhausted Joe Biden just held a full cabinet meeting for the first time in 11 months and immediately turned the mic over to his wife, Jill. I want you to, number one, I can understand Joe Biden being exhausted with everything that's going on. I mean, it must be hard to live through a coup. It must be hard and tiring to have everybody that's supposed to be in your corner just completely turn on you and shove you down into the basement and pretend like you don't exist anymore unless they need to pull you out for like a promo appearance here or there for Kamala or whatever else. Do I like Joe Biden? No. Do I feel bad for Joe Biden? No. Do I understand Joe Biden? No. I don't really think anybody understands Joe Biden. He mumbles a lot. There's a lot of like weird slurring that goes on. I don't know if it's dentures, old age, dementia, I'm not quite sure. But I do see what is going on with Joe Biden. And I just want to show this to you guys. I want you to hear exactly what has happened. If I can get it to stop, pause, let's turn the volume up so you can maybe hear what he has to say. Listen.
Grateful that Jill is here today. Heard that clapping. It wasn't for me when we came in. And here across previous administrations, First Ladies have attended these meetings and for specific reasons. This is the first time Jill has joined us, and it goes to show how important the issue is, which she's about to speak to the both of us. Today, at the top of our meeting, Jill's going to give an update on the House initiative, White House initiative, to fundamentally change the approach and fund how we approach and fund women's health services. So I'd like to turn it over to Jill and for any comments she has, and it's all yours, kid.
Thank you. You know, sometimes the White House.
Here's my question. I have a few questions, but the number one being, why is Jill sitting at the head of the table during a cabinet meeting? And why is the president of the United States passing everything over off to his wife? Now, my husband and I, we work together. We do a lot of stuff together, right? And I go to him, he goes to me for whatever we need, and we come to y'all with whatever we have to talk about. But pretty sure it's a little different when you're the president. I don't think you're just supposed to hand everything over to your wife, who isn't really an elected official at any point in time. Maybe to your vice president, except for she's out gallivanting and doing really, really bad interviews with Oprah and the National Association for Black Journalists and everybody else that she's bothered to sit down with. But how is handing the microphone or the whatever, the entire cabinet table over to Jill Biden an okay thing? How is this something that we as a country go, no, makes perfect sense? Bro, you could have had the janitor talk at that point. Like, why are we doing this? Why are you even there? Anyway, so not only does he hand Jill the table, the mic, which technically there wasn't like a microphone he handed her, but I want you to see this, because who's running our country, which is a very, very good question. She sat at the head of the table, and let's see if we can get this to play again. Y'all know how this works here. Bear with me, work with me. Get this going, Squirrel Tribe.
She's talked about the fact that sometimes the White House, in her words, surprises you. And for somebody who has worked on women's health issues for her whole career, frankly, as a teacher, but also as the second lady and now as the first lady, she said one of the things that struck her the most was the inequities in medical research, funding for medical research for women. So this is an important priority of hers that she had the opportunity to, at this cabinet meeting, to spotlight.
Okay, cool. But you saw her sitting up there talking like it was nothing, like that's her normal spot. And again, I feel like that's not okay. Like, well, does Kamala Harris just hand over everything to Doug Emhoff when it's her turn to speak on something? I mean, she doesn't speak on anything. If you've seen any interviews with her, she does not know how to answer a question to save her life or the country, to save the country. She doesn't know how to answer anything. So I'm curious if, somebody's sitting there saying, hey, Kamala, what is your plan for, I don't know, national safety? And she says, This is something my husband's really invested in and he cares a lot about. So I'm going to give the question over to him. Ma'am, no, that's not how this works. Mr. Biden, Joe Biden, sitting current president Joe Biden, still not how this works. At no point in time should you be handing everything over to your wife, Jill. I don't know who's running this place. I don't know who is making any decisions, because up until July, was it the 22nd, when they pulled the coup and Joe Biden was basically kicked out of everything that had to do with the presidency, except for he's still technically the acting president. Since then, it's either the 22nd or 23rd, I don't remember. We've barely seen him. And the whole talk of we need to stop the wars, we need to stop what's going on over with Israel and Palestine and Hamas and blah, 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 blah. We need to stop all that. They've quit talking about it, and things have escalated like exponentially in that whole area. Yeah, they're still perfectly fine with sending more money to Ukraine and doing things to help Ukraine and whatever else. Somehow somebody there is still pulling the strings for that. But it's just very interesting that we are where we are. It is September 20th, September, October. We have, 31, I can't do math in my head, 40-something days left until we go vote for the next president of the United States. And right now, we don't really feel like we have a acting, sitting, current president of the United States. We don't even have an acting, current vice president of the United States. She's taken herself out of that role to do her campaigning, to do her running around the United States in tax-paid airplanes and taxpayer buses and taxpayer cars or whatever else. We're paying for the vice president to do her campaigning, which is not at all how that's supposed to go. But anyway, there's nobody running this country. The person they want to win, and by they, I mean the Democrats and the puppet holders, the string pullers, the whatevers. The person they want to win, Kamala Harris, the one who was the border czar, who never did anything with the border, was also the one who was supposed to bring the internet to millions upon millions of people in the United States. $42 billion was basically gift wrapped and tied with a bow and handed over to Kamala Harris and said, here, Kamala, go spread the internet to because she spreads everything else. Go spread the internet to the people in this country who can't get it or who need help or who whatever else. And she goes, I got it, I'll totally do it. And then put her thumb up her ass and sat there and did nothing. So according to this, in 2021, Vice President Harris agreed to lead the administration's $42 billion. That is a capital B, my dudes, not an M, but a B. At least it's not a T. At least we're not in the trillions here. $42 billion plan to expand internet to millions of Americans. 1,039 days later, guess what she has not done? I bet you can guess. Not one person has been connected to the internet. None. Nunca. Nada. Zero. Zilch. I can't think of any other words. With VP Harris at the helm, Politico recently reported on the frustration and finger-pointing that now define the program's messy, delayed rollout. One state official described a chaotic implementation environment, dysfunction, and delays. She added that the administration has provided either no guidance given too late, or guidance changing midstream. The administration is slowing states down. So what has the administration been doing over the last 1,039 days instead of connecting Americans? It wasn't closing the border. In case you're going to guess it, I'm letting you know it wasn't that. It has been layering on red tape and advancing a wish list of progressive policy goals. The $42 billion program led by Vice President Kamala Harris, who they want to make President Kamala Harris, is being used to pursue a climate change agenda, DEI requirements, price controls, preferences for government-run networks, and rules that will lead to wasteful overbuilding. All of this will leave rural and other unconnected communities behind. So this is what's crazy to me. You have this woman who has been gifted the ability to help the American people that she swears she wants to help, and once again has done nothing. And I told my husband today, I said, babe, you know why she hasn't done this right? You know why she has not gone through and gotten the internet to the millions of Americans who need it? Because then they could be informed. Then they could see what's really going on and make decisions for themselves, okay? And heaven forbid the Democrats allow that, because that is what they are all about, allowing or not allowing mainstream media and regular people and whoever else to actually tell the truth. Mainstream media is full of lies. People like me and others here on this platform and numerous other platforms, we are all about the truth and getting the truth out, whether it's good, bad, ugly, whatever side. The truth is what matters. If Kamala Harris came out and did something great, I'd be the first one here going, "Yay, girl, get it! Like, it's about goddamn time! Like, come on, let's do this!" But no, Nothing's happening. If Trump was to do something absolutely horrible, I'd be like, yo, bro, no, not a good look. Not a good look at all. But thankfully, we haven't had that issue yet. So there's that. But the problem is Kamala Harris and the Democrats don't want the same people that they're hoping to get the votes from to be able to learn anything about them. Because then, guess what? They won't get their votes. Because according to Kamala Harris, 18 to 24-year-olds are stupid. And she's hoping for the votes of the stupid 18 to 24-year-olds, in case you're curious. So, of course, she's not going to get them the internet because then it would be detrimental to her campaign. And I have to do this because her campaign is just her running around and sitting on stage just talking to people with word salad, saying absolutely nothing. Even Oprah Winfrey, who she sat down with for a two-hour town hall meeting, looked at her like she was batshit crazy. Oprah Winfrey, the same one who was besties with Jeffrey Epstein and what's his name, Harvey Wine, whatever, the director rapist guy, and P. Diddy, baby oil P. Diddy, and lots of other people that you look at and go, ooh, ew, ew. Yeah, that Oprah. That's who she sat down with. And even Oprah looked at her like, oh, bless it. Oh, bless it. Because Kamala Harris is dumber than dirt. I feel like dirt would give a better explanation or answer to a question than Kamala Harris is able to do. It is absolutely ridiculous. And here's the problem. Here's the problem. Her administration and people like her are the reason why we have really stupid people running around this country. And we're going to have a lot more of them now, especially in Chicago. In case you're curious, Chicago public schools teachers say they were told by administrators to give migrant students passing grades. Do you know why they needed to give migrant students passing grades? Because the Democrats, mainly Joe Biden, but actually mainly Kamala Harris, border czar, who did not close the border and instead said, everybody come on in. All y'all come on in. Let's go here. Let's go hang out in Chicago. Let's go to all the places in Texas. Oh, New York City looks nice this time of year. How about we go there as well? All these places, right? They have bused them there, flown them there, driven them there. They've had like a walking line, a conga line. I don't know how they got there, but a lot of illegal immigrants have ended up in Chicago, which technically it's on Chicago themselves because they voted Democrat. They voted to be a sanctuary city. Unfortunately, you get what you ask for. So they have a ton, like 9,000 to 17,000, because we can't ever get a number right, of illegal immigrant students in the schools from kindergarten to seniors and whatever else. And they have been told that they can't let any of these students get under a 70. That's the passing. 69 and lower is an F. You fail, you're done, right? 70 and higher, they have to give them. And you know why they have to give that to them? Because they can't communicate with these children. Because these kids speak Spanish, these teachers speak English. These teachers speak English, these kids speak Spanish. There is no connectivity there. They can't connect. It's hard to teach somebody if you can't understand each other. And it's hard to learn from somebody if you can't understand each other. And all the billions of dollars that our government is spending on illegal immigrants, whether it's for the food, the housing, the whatevering, they're not spending it on their education. They're not spending it on interpreters or anything else like that. But here's the problem. These same people are now the ones who are going to go work in the food processing plants. That's why they brought the Haitians in, by the way, to go work at the food processing plants, to go work in numerous other places. And if they can't speak English and they can't understand English and they can't understand what's going on, what do you think is going to start to happen to all these businesses where the illegal immigrants have been placed? Because like Tyson Food, they have been told, hey, we're going to give you a tax cut, tax refund, tax credit, tax whatever, if you'll hire some of these illegal immigrants so that they can work. We want them in the food industry. We want them in the farming industry. So instead of having 10 Americans that you have to pay, you have to do W-2s for, well, technically they should do it no matter what, but you have to have workman's comp, you have to have healthcare, you have to have 401ks, all these different things. Instead of having 10 Americans, how about you only have like 3 Americans and then bring in 7 illegal immigrants and we'll give you like a tax credit and you can pay them way, way less. And if work production suffers and suddenly our food industry seems to every single day there's something wrong with the food because of some grossness that didn't get caught in the facilities, it is what it is. It is what it is. Y'all have noticed the amount of upticks in E. coli, listeria, numerous other things, explosions in the last couple of years at the same time, weirdly, that the borders have been wide open and people have been coming in. Anyways, just wanted to bring that to your attention. So there was one other thing I wanted to say. And now, because how I've scrolled off onto everything, I can't remember exactly what it was. There's a lot I want to say, obviously. I would ask y'all what it is, but too much up here, you'll never guess. I don't remember. It was probably brilliant also. Probably not. I'll probably remember it later and I'll bring it to you then. I'll bring it to you in another video because for the life of me, I got nothing. Nope. It has flitted away. This must be what Kamala Harris feels like when she sits down and somebody asks her a question and she says, well, you know, the American people need to be unburdened by what has been burdened. We should be unburdened. I can't do her laugh. I don't know how to cackle like that. It's very weird, but she does talk with her hands a lot and it really bothers me. And I watched some of her Oprah thing and it was one of those things where I was like, I've never wished to be deaf, but maybe now I do because her voice, it is just awful. Okay, until I remember what I was going to say, I guess we'll just say goodnight to each other because it is, well, it's like almost 6 o'clock, but it's time for me to go upstairs and feed my husband and my child. Time to go cook. I'm like a 50s housewife in that aspect. I love to cook dinner and breakfast and clean the house, wash the clothes, take care of everything, fix his plate, wash his clothes, all that stuff. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with taking care of your man, taking care of your family. So there's that. Anyway, I love y'all immensely. Thank you for being here and letting me just, I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Okay, bye.